Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heart of Christ Ministry, guys. This is a momentous occasion, and not because of what you think, but rather, yes, it is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Yes. Happy 39th to me, ladies and gents. But this marks the 40th message for Heart of Christ. Wow. 40 messages. I am so happy and grateful that we can actually be sitting here and saying that we've concluded 40 messages. Absolutely phenomenal. With that being said, I got some gifts for you. I got one gift for you, a birthday gift and a 40th message gift. And I'm telling you, if you hadn't downloaded this album yet, this is an album that I was going to sell. It's got, I feel like $150 value, and it's able to help you to succeed in so many different capacities, from the areas of health, wellness, success, prosperity, the whole nine. And what I want to do is, there's a downloadable link on my website at uplifterinentertainment.com, and you can click on it. It's literally, once you go to the homepage, you scroll down a bit and it tells you to click here. But anyway, you click on that, you'll get all 7 tracks to this album as a birthday gift from me to you, and a 40th message gift from Heart of Christ. So I wanted to do that for you because why not give, right? It's always about receiving, and receiving is good, but sometimes we need to give to others, right? Why not? So remember, uplifterinentertainment.com, on the homepage. Go there, click on that link, and you will get all 7 tracks. And I promise you, these tracks are good because I've detailed the wording in every track to ensure that it creates a feeling of already having. And every track has a solfeggio frequency behind it. And what that means is that is just subliminal messaging, right? Certain sound waves that creates a different vibration within the body. So with that being said, when you use these long enough, as a matter of fact, you could see differences happen to you in like 30 days or so by listening to them, because they get embedded into your subconscious mind, and then it becomes something that's really epic as it takes its course. So take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of that free gift. It's a free album, MP3, download it anywhere you like, listen to it all the time. And I promise you, it will allow you to make the most of everything that's in your basically every area of your life. It'll allow you to make the most of, is what I'm saying. All right. So with that being said, guys, let's get right into this line of business first. All right. So we got some amazing questions, guys. These questions have been literally off the cheesy for heezy. I mean, like, wow. And not only am I in a space to help the person asking the question, but these questions are helping me because it's really allowing me to dive into the truth of what it is that I've been fortunate enough to learn, and what it is as far as wisdom, as it relates to money consciousness, that can best help someone struggling. And guess what? We got more coming in today that we're going to do towards the end. And that is just absolutely awesome. So I'm excited about that. But we also have a great message for you. But we're going to start off with write to us at Gmail. Any type of correspondence, any prayer requests, anything that you might have that you want to share with this ministry, guys, by all means, write to us, ShaunG04@gmail.com. I will get to it as soon as I can. And as you can see, I'm taking 2 questions at a time and answering those as we go along. So it's important to know that if you write to us and you give us those questions, I'm going to eventually get to them and give you the very best answer to help you out in every sense of the word, in every capacity. All right. So with that being said, moving along, where are you? There you go. All right. Sowing a seed today. Sow a seed. So once again, if you find that this content has benefited you. You find that this content is helping you to rise higher within your consciousness and develop something that enables you to be the very best that you can be. By all means, sow a seed today, right? Sow a seed. The seed you sow never leaves your life. It continues to expand. It makes a difference in not only this ministry, but in your life, because it teaches you about giving, and giving creates a more expansive you. So if you want to sow a seed, oh, did I mention it was my birthday? Sow a seed, Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, ShaunG04@gmail.com, Apple Pay upon request. Thank you in advance for your kindness and generosity. And now we're going to get into our normal game of where's my abundance? Yes, 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 y'all. Where's my abundance? So you know the drill, you know the rules to it. If you don't, let me explain to you real quick. Think about something that is tangible or intangible that you're grateful for, that makes you feel an enormous level of abundance, and allow that to resonate within you. And once you've got it, place it into the comments, and we will review. I will give you mine after this 30-second interval is up of you doing that. But it's important for you to place it into the comments, because what it does, it allows you in your abundance to inspire other people's abundance. All right. With that being said, guys, you're going to get 30 seconds to find your abundance. Where's my abundance? Where's my abundance? All righty. Where's my abundance? If you got, what you're grateful for, place it into the comments and allow that to resonate, not just with you, but with us, and inspire abundance in everyone else. You can never underestimate the power of gratitude. And this is something that we just don't want to do now. We say this every day, but it's so important. You just don't want to do it now. You want to do it at least once, okay? Once per hour throughout the day, because what that's going to do is that's going to keep your mind fixated into an abundant state. Okay. So what is my abundance? My abundance is this. My abundance is happy, grateful, abundant to take another trip around the sun. 39. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. I've had so much love, so much prosperity, so much of everything I could ever want. And I'm extraordinarily happy at this moment. That is my abundance. So thank you for playing this game. Where's my abundance? And with that being said, let's get into our message for today. Heart of Christ, financial, emotional intelligence, the wisdom of money consciousness. Okay. So if I say F.E.I, you know what I mean. I'm talking about financial, emotional intelligence. So I created this concept because I felt that there was a need to be able to experience peace in all of your dealings. There was a desire to realize that money can be just as prosperous as any other area of your life. And the perfect thing is it ties into the concept of what this ministry is all about. And that is money consciousness, right? And so consciousness comes down to awareness. And we're going to talk about awareness here a little bit later on here in the segment. It becomes, right, a situation of how aware are we with our dealings as it relates to our finances, right? How aware are we? How in tuned are our feelings with the idea of the money flow, whether it's money in, money out? Are we approaching money as a physical entity, or are we approaching money as the love current that it is? So these are all important things that we have to break down if we're going to succeed financially in a way that's not even necessarily having a boatload of physical cash, but understanding where your true wealth comes from and understanding how to use wisely and inherently the wisdom that comes with understanding what your true wealth really is. Okay. So stay with me there. I know that was a lot, but just stay with me and we will continually enlighten you on this topic. And by the time we get through, you'll have a greater understanding of what financial emotional intelligence actually is. And so with that being said, let's get into number one. Okay. So financial emotional intelligence creates immense peace around all financial dealings. Okay. And so if you're in a state of stress, if you're in a state where you get charged up when you think about your accounts, when you think about certain amounts of money being flowing out, I was about to say taken away, but that's the wrong terminology. You see money flowing out, and all of a sudden it seems like you get to certain time periods where money flows out more than it comes in, then that is where we need to implement more of the F.E.I. Okay. And so it's understanding that the most important concept in this acronym F.E.I. is the E, the emotion, right? What type of emotions are wrapped around your financial dealings, right? Does the movement of money cause anxiety within you? Does it cause you to worry, right? Because once again, if that does, what do we have to do? We dive in deeper, right? We dive in deeper through meditation, but more importantly, introspection to really see what it is that causes us to feel this charge. And the great thing is every single issue you have with your finances is related to an emotion that you picked up, that you're playing over and over, and you've programmed yourself to really just take on every time something like this happens. So for me, what's important and what's important for you is to document everything that unfolds whenever you're dealing with your finances. Okay. Document it. Okay. So all of a sudden, let's say you just had to pay your mortgage, or you just had to pay, a bill that's larger than what you're used to. You just had to, and a large sum of money just left your account. See how that makes you feel, right? See how your body, your subconscious mind, right? The body's an outpicturing of the subconscious mind. See how it responds to what it is that is going on. Right. And then once you get it, because it never fails, once you get, I used to do this all the time, because what would happen is I would go and make a purchase, and it would be a big purchase. And all of a sudden I could feel myself tightening up. Right. And immediately, you know what that told me? That told me that I'm really focused on lack. Something in me is lacking. And the only reason I was lacking was because my abundance was rooted in physical cash, as opposed to a divine unlimited source, the divine spirit of God that lies within me. Instead of rooting it on that, I was rooting it on physical cash. And physical cash, eventually, at times, you can be abundant and it can still be wiped out here from time to time. Okay. So you've got to understand, okay, who is my true source of abundance? Once you discover your true source of abundance, then you begin to feel, okay, why am I feeling this way? Whose emotion have I picked up as it relates to this whole idea of having anxiety, having fear, having worry around money? Dive into this. And you know what? The great thing about fear, worry, and stress, when you face them head on, right? That is the most powerful thing you can do to alleviate it completely. It's facing the stress. It's facing the worry. It's putting your foot down and saying, you know what? This is not going to plague me anymore. I am ready. I am ready to dive in and see what is really causing this. And with that attitude, you will come out successful, and you will come out more in peace all the time. All right. Number 2, here we go. Oops. Nope. Don't want to do that. There we go. Financial emotional intelligence creates an awareness that leads to prosperous decisions. Okay. So consciousness, we discussed the idea that consciousness is awareness, right? Consciousness is awareness. And so when you become more aware of what's happening financially, what you're doing is you're taking your attention and you're placing it on your finances, which then there's a level of interest, of passion that comes with that. And anything you're passionate about is always going to share its secrets to you, right? Because more energy anywhere has to be amplified. That's how the universe works. So when you create an awareness, what you're doing is creating more energy around your entire financial standing, right? And that energy all of a sudden expands into ideas that lead to more or greater prosperous decisions, as opposed to decisions that are destructive or decisions that root you in lack or cause you to feel like you don't have enough, or there's never going to be enough, or you don't know where you're going to turn to. All this comes back to awareness, right? And it's having the awareness of what money actually is, okay? Said it again, we're going to say it all the time. Money is a love current. It's love in action, love in expression. God in action, God in expression. It's meant to circulate. Money flow in, money flow out. Money come, money go. It's a balance, right? It's a balance that continually circulates. When the circulation of it stops, the flow dissipates, it dies, right? So we have to continue to keep that flow. Now, in just that understanding of how money works, it takes you from like level 1 to like level 50. Because guess what? The money you put out has to come back in, right? The money that comes in has to go out. But keep in mind, as long as the flow is going, you can be sure that the money will continually show up. And the only way it doesn't is if you're lacking awareness. You're lacking awareness of how energy actually flows, because it's energy. It's love energy. And you're choosing to believe that it won't come back, as opposed to understanding its true universal property, right? And that is what? Law of opposites, law of relativity, go, come, up, down, right? It has to balance itself out. The universe, here's something you really need to know, is forever seeking balance, right? It is undeniably incessant when it comes to balancing everything, right? So here's a good example that you can kind of see how this works. You become attached to something and you never get it, because the universe knows if it gives you something you're attached to, you throw yourself and the universe out of balance. So what does it want you to do? It wants you can have that desire, but at the same time, you have that desire in a knowing that creates the peace that you already have that thing, right? And that, as long as that balance is there, right? Keep in mind, balance means prosperity. Balance means growth. Balance means expansion. Anything other than balance, it's basically like a weight that's overloaded on one side. It's going to cause a mishap. It's going to cause lack to some degree. But knowing that the universe always moves to create balance, it's going to do the same thing in your finances, right? It's going to do the same thing in your finances. But the most important thing is having the awareness to know that that is going to happen, right? When you know this, you have to never fear of going broke, because anytime it looks like your money is dwindling, guess what? It's got to come back up, right? It has to. It's universal law. It has to come back up. Now, the only way it doesn't come back up is if we are consciously choosing lack, choosing to see lack, choosing to deny the universal law that is automatically at play, right? When we get rid of all the conditioning, we see that everything is really set up to not only help us win, but to help us to win big and to help us to create awareness and truth around everything financial, but everything in every area, right? So create that awareness, and that awareness leads to prosperous decisions because you understand the nature of what money actually is, right? That's the first thing you got to get down. When you understand the nature of what money is, half your problems are done, right? They just get wiped out because you've created a higher level of consciousness to move past it, right? That's what we need. All righty. Number 3, here we go. Financial emotional intelligence creates perpetual growth in your finances. The divine opens you to more when you prove that you can be trusted with little. Now, this is straight biblical, but it's true, right? When you prove that you can handle what you're given and you can be grateful, you can be content and at peace without saying, God damn it, give me more. I want more, right? But you say, no, you know what? I'm really grateful for what I have. I'm going to make the most of this. I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to prosper and blossom where I am planted. Guess what? You begin to create an F.E.I. that opens you up for more expansion, more growth. Remember, increase is natural, right? It's a natural, automatic, universal phenomenon, which means that it will happen, but you have to be rooted in the right principle. So keeping in mind that life is not always, especially from a universal standpoint, it's not always cause and effect. A lot of time it's principle. Tap into the principle, and then you'll watch as things move away or move from the principle that you've actually been implementing and holding truth to with conviction and with faith, right? And in that simple action, growth is created, right? A greater space gets back to awareness, right? A greater space for you to hold more because you're more conscious of what you're doing financially. So the number one thing you can do right now is take care of what you got. Be grateful for what you got. Ask your inner guidance questions. Okay, how do I make the most of this? It might tell you give some of it. Don't hoard all of it. You got too much in your savings. Put it into action. Put it into something that's going to bring out your gifts, right? Because when we go within and we really start to purge into the inner guidance, it just starts giving us wisdom, one thing after the other, allowing us to be our absolute best in every sense of the word. Your intuition, your inner guidance is like your prime financial advisor. You just have to listen, right? So when it knows you can be trusted with little, you can expect more to come in. Remember, universal law of increase is natural. We're going to do an episode on that sometime down the road. But remember, you're supposed to increase. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to succeed. You're supposed to do all of these things unless you're consciously stepping into the flow of the universe and disrupting it. Keep that in mind. All right. So that wraps up that message for today. But as stated in the beginning, guys, we got some questions for you, man. These questions, they just continue to get better and better and better. And it's really like, it's good because it challenges me to figure out, okay, how can I answer this in a way that's going to help people, but help people practically and in a transformative way. So let's get into it. So I numbered as number 5 because, I'm just numbering them as they come in. So let's get into it. Reverend Shaun, I want to help my kids, but I don't want to hurt them by encouraging bad habits. I know it's partly my fault that they have made bad money decisions, but what should I do? Okay. So first off, don't blame yourself, because blame is a low vibrational energy that just makes everybody feel worse about everything. So don't blame yourself. If anything, focus on the love that's present by you attempting to do everything you can to help your kids, right? But try this next time, right? I don't know if your kids are adults or teenagers or not, but when you want to just give them money, that's okay from time to time, but ensure that they're understanding the principles of how money works, right? So instead of giving them like money all the time, go buy them a book that helps them to understand money, like a Think and Grow Rich book or a Science of the Mind book, or something that will help them get a greater grasp of how money works, right? Because this old saying goes that, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man a fish, he eats for life. Money's the same exact way, right? That's why this ministry is like, let me help you get a money consciousness as opposed to just giving you money. Because if you have a money consciousness, guess what? You have money your entire life. It continues to go. It continues to circulate. It continues to move. You have the wisdom and the awareness and the consciousness to create more, even after, for some chance or a reason, this is not here anymore, right? So keep in mind, instead of just giving, you want to help your kids create the consciousness that allows them to manage and be wise as it relates to their own money. But ultimately, don't blame yourself. Just start now. Help them to really develop that. And if they're not readers, maybe sit them down and try to teach them something, like whatever you can, attempt to help them to gain a consciousness, a money consciousness, not just a need for physical money, but a money consciousness that involves mastering basically the love energy current, right? And being able to use that and use it in peace. All right. So I hope that helped for you. Thank you so much for that question. Moving on to the next one, guys and gals. Number 6. Okay. I get really anxious when I have to give money. It's affecting my health, and I'm not sure what I should do. Can you help me? Okay, so this if you were here yesterday, this kind of ties into the idea that something within us emotionally is rooted towards lack, right? And even at the beginning of this segment, we talked about how you've got to plant yourself into something that is sustainable, that is abundant, that is unlimited. And the only thing that is the divine, is the Spirit of God, is the all that is the universe. It is the only thing that is abundant enough for you to plant yourself into it and feel an immeasurable, unlimited amount of peace around your finances all of the time. Okay. So in realizing that, the first thing you got to focus on is basically not focusing on the fact that it's causing you anxiety, right? If it's causing you anxiety, turn away from it. All right. Turn away from it. And so take money completely out the equation and just begin to focus on peace, right? Just begin to focus on peace. And once you're focused on peace and you're at that place, and all you need to do is just sit quietly, close your eyes, and just breathe, right? Don't think about giving whatsoever. Get into that state of peace, right? And then once you have that state of peace, here's what you're going to do to sort of debunk what's happening. You're going to give a small amount of money. It can be $1, it can be $2, it can be $3, however much, whatever is small for you. You're going to give a small amount of money to someone who needs it, right? Someone who needs it. Always with giving, start small if you find it charges you up and makes you nervous. Because the fact of the matter is, if it's making you nervous, guess what? That's going to compound itself within your consciousness and create more stuff to be nervous about. You got to get to a state of peace, right? And not only that, peace will help your cells to regenerate your entire body and be in a more healthy or healthier state, because that's how the body recovers. The body can recover and restore itself when you're in complete peace, inner peace, outer peace, all peace. Peace is the answer to removing the anxiety, and peace is the answer to helping you to feel better, right? But once you cultivate that peace, pretty much after you do that meditation or that silent time, give a small amount, right? Give a small amount, and what you'll see is that you begin to overcome whatever it is that's holding you back. All righty, guys, that wraps it for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for those questions. Amazing questions. Absolutely. Definitely excited and thrilled to answer those and to watch more come in, because I mean, it helps me, it helps you, it helps everybody, right? So if you have any questions, write to us at ShaunG04@gmail.com. Any prayer requests, anything you want me to stand in agreement with you for divine solutions, feel free to write to me, write to us, this ministry, ShaunG04@gmail.com. Thank you in advance for that interaction, because it just doesn't help the ministry. It helps everybody watching, helps everybody involved. So thank you for that. And then last but not least, let's call it the birthday seed, the birthday seed. All right. So if you found this content beneficial, if you found content in the past beneficial, if you feel that you are better, right, in a conscious way just by listening to this message, here's what I want you to do, ladies and gents. I would like you to take that energy and give. Doesn't matter how big or how small your seed is, sow a seed into the ministry, and it will never leave your life. As a matter of fact, it will expand you in ways you can't even imagine. Excuse me. With that being said, if you decide to do so, Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, ShaunG04@gmail.com, Apple Pay upon request, and anything else we can do, we'll make it happen in order for you to sow a seed. Thank you in advance for your kindness and your generosity, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up the 40th message for Heart of Christ Ministry, and that begins my 39th birthday. All right. So with that being said, guys, you have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend. I'm pretty sure I'll be here tomorrow. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, moment to moment, don't forget, where's my abundance? Always find the abundance. Always be grateful and realize a money consciousness is for you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Take care.
Every dream begins with a vision that sees everything before anyone else ever can. A vision that ignites the endless power to make all your dreams come true. Your truth is in this vision.